Welcome to 1407 Great Malkin Lane. This is the living memory of the X-Men. Don't let anyone tell you different. All right. Today we have an interview with a very special guest, Omar, a black carefree nerd.
Black nerd problems.
Right. Black nerd. Sorry, I was like black nerd problems. I'm sorry. It's been a day. It's hot. Like my brain's baking. So like, how you doing, man? How's everything?
I'm all right, man. As I said, it's just really hot.
Man, it's just, but not too hot to talk about X-Men. The
That's
bet.
going to keep me going. It's the only thing that's keeping me going. World's spinning, we're all like, it's all like, seems like the end of times come like, all right, but X-Men's still coming out. I'm like, all right, well, I can make it another day then.
Hey, Cocoa forever. All right, Cocoa forever.
I'm gonna rock on nigga myself, but I'm there.
Oh yeah, yeah. After what Thanos' big uncle did, he just Melvin the entire like shut up, like
rough. This is rough out here.
Like, but they getting ready for the clapback.
Yeah.
Like you just know Magneto's just being super emotional, like, oh, y'all run up on me? Y'all run it up on like in front of my friends.
I've been waiting for this. As I fought monsters like you all my life, so I'm sad to see you failed. I'm like, oh god.
No. This man, and then Cable had that big gun, and then he died because it overheated.
Cable brought out the big gun, like it got like what is it, like it's 3-6 shots before it starts overheating. And like I think that's what killed him, right? He still held on to it. He was like he didn't even Uranus didn't even feel it. I'm like, oh, this is all bad.
Seriously, like when they got back to Krakoa, I would have like if I was Magneto, I've been like, okay, all right, give me Sync, Monarch, give me all the reality warpers, hell Manifold. I said clip up.
Also, like remember, keep in mind him and he destroyed his and Storm's backups as well, because like to prove because they're if we're on Morocco, we gotta do things on Morocco's on their terms, and we are not afraid of a life that ends. That's their whole terms. If we're going to be governing them, then we got to be of their culture. Then like, all right, well, this is it for us. And I'm like, that man has a hole in his chest. I don't know if he made his heart like a pacemaker. Yeah, but
Magneto cannot be killed.
And he's like, oh, he's got the hour of Magneto. I'm like, that man might be going for good. Then like he might be like it might be gone for good. We'll see though. This is wild times.
It's weird. Like they just destroyed those backups, and then all this happens. Like, so you telling me y'all? So we can't bring each? Okay.
Yeah. I just think he's destroyed the backups, but I'm sure there's still ways to bring them, baby. It'll probably be longer, but if we're gonna be about this, we're gonna be about this. Like, all right, I am all for. I like the loophole found to bring them back, but also am with like if he dies, he dies. I'm with that as well. So I like both aspects of it.
But hey, Legion died too. I was like
off screen.
He was talking all that big. He's talking all that big talk in Legion, saying like, "Oh, I'm better than my father." Da 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 da. Yeah.
Well, we didn't see the fight because it's what's it called? Legion of X.
Yeah.
Not way of Legion. Legion of X is like it's late, so we're like, yeah, we're 2 issues from seeing that fight. Because the next one's gonna deal with the whole getting that whole religion thing organized with that the god from Morocco that was gone.
So many plots.
I love it because finally, like, this is what makes X-Men great now. Because before I was like, oh, there's X-Men doing different adventures, everyone's all off doing their own thing, whatever. But like now it's like we come for this nation Krakoa. Everything we do ties back to Krakoa, whether it's X-Force taking out like the threats beforehand, Marauders getting the drugs to people that need it and not being liberated by the sovereign nations there are, New Mutants out in space trying to get shit. The X-Men, they're like, oh, Krakoa still needs heroes, X-Men still need to be a thing. Like all these things are happening. But it all leads to like we do this for Krakoa, for this nation that we're trying to make. You know what I mean? Like we got it wrong. Genosha could have been it. Then we saw what happened there. Like, all right, we're not gonna repeat the mistakes of our past and shit. Like we're doing everything, and we included everyone as well. Like I knew this shit was different when I saw fucking Apocalypse rolled up and was like, from niggas to gods, huh? Like, I was like, oh.
No. And then Krakoa was like, "What's up, baby?
Yeah.
What's up, Big K? I
And
would say
Cypher's like,
do
how
a
do you?
little thing.
Cypher's like, how do you know him? It's like I've known him. I was here for years. Like we'll get into
Man,
that.
like man, he used to live. I used to live here. Like me, and him,
Yeah,
we hella
yeah.
cool.
It's. I mean, Apocalypse is really the Joe Jackson of mutants because you know then you do because then you deal with Otherworld and Ament, and it's like, oh, I did this. Like I was forcing y'all to become. I was
As a
saying,
version of yourself.
yeah, because I was doing natural selection because I was supposed to bring my family is trapped on the other side. I had to stay behind because I was the weakest one.
Right.
I'm the weakest. I was trying to get y'all to be the best you could be, so that we could be the army to go free my
My
niggas.
people. But then,
Yeah,
and then everybody's giving him crap, and then like we all know that Archangel is his favorite for some reason, and Archangel's still giving him crap. Like,
but the way
you know,
you
how
think,
can you beat you?
yeah,
And think it's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's like, because I'm right. I'm like,
Hey, everybody's like, oh, Apocalypse is a villain now. I'm like, he's still a villain. Like, well, okay, all right. He's this guy who just want to get his family back.
yeah. I mean, there was a reason behind this method, the madness. Like, I had to make sure y'all were
ready.
you had to be the best you could be to go fight these motherfuckers that they've been fighting for millennia. And we're not. We're still not. But we got no choice now.
No.
War's at our door. We got no choice but to go up now. That's I still have to reread that because like that's still a bit like I love it, but it's like it's still like Hickman's so like it's good. It's so good, but like it's so intricate as well. So it's like I gotta read it again because I'm like I know he defeated them by taking the crown from his wife Amet and surrendering it because he told her what surrender is not defeat, right? Like so good.
And it turned the mask into like this whole like a flag or something.
Yeah.
Like I want to see where this goes. I really
Way of X could have been not Way of X. Legion X's swords. Yeah. It was good, but then they had like some wacky things for like the trials. I'm like, I thought niggas were supposed to be dying and getting got. Like
I thought it was supposed to be like a Mortal Kombat situation.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, it's different, but it's whatever. But the ending when with him and him versus Genesis's wife, I mean, that was hardness and Iska and then like Tarn, like and then seeing like we still have to learn more about the whole like Araco society because that's like a millennia of like I didn't realize it till it was pointed out by I think Paging Scales, Mr. Scales on online on Twitter, where it was like, yo, they're all. I mean, I was like, yeah, these like they're all black and black coded. I was like, oh shit, that's right. Right. And Genesis was the leader. Now she's gone. Storm is now Regent Assault. You know, and then
like, got a new blood. It went from like an African nation to now being an African nation headed by an African American.
Yeah.
Also, what I really like about X of Swords is how they brought back the X-Men because Cyclops and Jean acted like black parents. Mm-hmm. Who said something about my Jean? Flip up.
It went out for Cable. Yeah.
We getting everybody, and the whole council was like, "You sure you want to do this?" Like, I don't fail.
Yeah.
Okay. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing.
Scott Summers.
He's that dude though.
Man, the Mr. 5 beats a day for 3 summers, original man. I love it. I don't go up for many white men, but Scott Summers and Matt
no, he blacks me because he has black problems. He had baby mama drama. He had to get a new chick replace his old chick.
That was bad. That was just bad writing though, because I finally was like, why did they do that to him? It was Claremont. I mean, we could Claremont
doesn't like Cyclops. Like
and then he kind of shitted on the character, but it's like you did this to the character. But because Jean was supposed to when she died in Phoenix, like that was supposed to be it. Yeah, she was supposed to stay gone. And then it was supposed to be like, all right, now this is life after being an X-Men, because that's all Scott knew. And he would point out, Madeline's like, dog, I got a job. All you know is like, this has been your whole personality all your life. Like, who are you aside from this? But then the editor office, they're like, oh, no, we got to get Jean back. And it's like, okay, well, that throws a wrench in things because this man's a husband now and he's got a kid. Yeah, and they're like, fuck it. And they're like, all right. And then that was like, that could have been done better. So it just looks like, all right, Scott just walks out on his family or whatever.
I still say that was all part of the plan. That was all part of Sinister's plan.
You're going on Sinister?
I have a whole thing about it. He created Madeline as a way to keep Cyclops away from the X-Men. And that was and like when he came everything regarding Jean just had her have a violent reaction. Like remember when he asked Madeline, like, are you sure you're not a doppelganger? She just slapped him. Like I was like, whoa, that's an overreaction because he's been a superhero, like you say, he's been a superhero his entire life. And like these questions are just kind of run of the mill, like, obvious questions. And then she gets mad. She's just like, why are you hitting people? You could have just said no.
There's a scene with Iron Man where he has a new love interest and they kiss for the first time and he goes, "Hell higher." She goes, "What?" He goes, "Sorry, I had to be sure of my line of work. You got to be sure about these things." She's
Right?
like, it's like that. But yeah, but like that was like that
was
which
Claremont. That's all Claremont. No one ever.
I mean, as much good as he did, but like there's something like, all right, well that editing department was bad at that. And it's like, well, fuck it, because it's comics. Because it's like I hate the whole comics. We can whatever, but I'm like, well, no, you had if Jean was supposed to stay dead, keep her dead. Then she's one that come back like X amount of times, whatever. But again, which is why this new era of X-Men and new stack quo is so good because all right, they died. We have a reason why they can come back. I'm like, that's brilliant. And it's also so hypocritical of the Eternals now, where they're just like, oh, we deem them, we safeguard humanity, and really it's just Druid trying to keep his position of power. We deem the mutants there have been deviants and they've gone too far. What? Where were you when the humans were killing us? 1, 2, y'all bring people back to resurrection and you kill people. We kill no one. Like that's the big secret that's not out yet. So it'll be interesting. Like that has to be revealed.
Oh, it has to come out. It has to come out. But like, well, whole thing with Cyclops, everybody says he's a deadbeat dad. Like, whoa. After what happened with Madeline, he never did that again. He was a good husband. He was a good father. He did the best. Like when he sent Cable into the future, he didn't want to do it. It was the best thing for him.
Man, that's why he's the leader, man. My man always makes the tough calls. Always have to make the tough choices, which is also another reason why I've enjoyed Cyclops. Like post Astonishing X-Men. Was that under? Who was that under? That was Whedon.
Yeah.
No? They did. I mean, he's got.
Oh, and Morrison too. Like.
Oh yeah, Morrison. Yeah, him and Morrison and Whedon. Like that's when you start to see a turn in Cyclops. Like instead of just being like the authority figure, sticking the butt and shit. And then Hickman really, over the last 3 years, Hickman just really like let him. All right, this guy, he's got like his dry. He's become more like.
He has a sense of humor now. Like
the stick's gone now. Dude's like, whatever, man. I'm just here to plan shit, make sure my people are alive. And he's always eating something now too in the background. I mean, he was drinking that milkshake. He was eating this hoagie from Philadelphia.
He was trying to. He's like,
yeah. I mean,
he can't have nothing. He's so skinny.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he like nowadays he's like, I'm a simple guy.
Yeah.
I make defense plans and hang out with my family.
That's it. That's all I do.
I want a book where we just get a whole issue with the Summers family at home. No,
we got that kind of. We
X-Men 1, yeah.
Yeah, when and that was dope because Wolverine couldn't. I love that. I always want. I keep forgetting, but I want to write about the scene where he's talking with Wolverine, who's up late at night. He's like, "Oh, you can't sleep." It's like it's all that hair. You can't. It's too hot for cover. It's too cold without him. And then he was like, "Oh, we were going to go to take the kids to the beach, and I know it's not your thing, but we'd really like if you joined us." I mean, Gene's like, "Oh, Gene in the bikini, like Scott in the Speedo." And he's like, "Oh, all right, well, how can I say no to that?" And then there's another issue where it shows the whole Summers family and Logan, who lives with them and their room is Gene's middle room is in the open, in the middle, and Scott's room's on the left, and Wolverine's on the right side of Gene, and they can go into each other's rooms. They're the only rooms that are like that, aside from what Gabriel.
Havoc, Cable, and Rachel.
Yep. On the Summers Clan house.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's such growth. And then that conversation steers toward the Crucible and how how people get their powers back. The ones that are still alive that didn't have their powers and shit like that. And that's just, man, it's just brilliant. I'm just so happy to see the love triangle thing gone because it's bigger than that now. Like we're really seeing it.
And the whole thing with Wolverine, I was like he's basically a person who's avoiding all his real kids. He's like a homeless person who just let into the house.
Oh they're down to cool. We saw him hanging out in X-Force when he was chilling with what's it called, Laura.
Yeah.
Dockin, and then I'm like, you got. It was kind of. I'm like, you just good with your son Dockin now? And they're like, yeah.
Like y'all, right. y'all cool now. Like,
yeah, I mean, you drowned that man. You drowned him, but all right, whatever.
Hey.
He had it coming, but all right.
It happens. Okay, so my first question is, what was your first exposure to the X-Men? What made you like?
I remember my brother would visit my brother would visit, he would come with this like almost like a not a suitcase, but like this white kind of fold out box. It's like kind of long, almost like a briefcase. It was cardboard, and he could like fold it out, and in it he would have like his video games, his toys, and like the comics he was reading. And it must have been I think the first one I saw was an issue with Storm and Forge, and I was like, hey, look at these brown people kissing. This is dope. And I didn't know that. Learned later that Forge is native, and obviously I knew Storm is black.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, who's this guy Forge? All right, cool. Oh, it's a native. Oh, that's fucking. I was only. I must have. How old was that time? I'm thinking this was like 94, 95.
Earlier. I remember that was early. That was like 90.
Maybe this was 93, 92 then. I'm just trying to place where I was in New Jersey, but I remember he came over. He had that issue, and they were kissing it, and I was like, "Oh, all right, that's cool." And I knew of Storm and stuff, so that was like the first thing. And then when I got older, I was reading X-Men, and then the shit that stood out to me was New X-Men. I really love that because like, oh, the teachers are older now, right. Not well, the X-Men are like teachers in a sense now, and each right. has their own. I love that. I really like that they all had their own. Kids they were bringing up there in squads, like Cyclops were the Corsairs, the Aliens, and all that. Like I really like that division. And I'm sure I was collecting some. I was reading some Uncanny before that.
Uncanny was kind of under Chuck Austin. Yeah, that was kind of.
It was the early stuff. Yeah, I remember Extreme X-Men. I remember I had the Bishop when he was in Mutant Town.
Yeah. District X. I'm sorry.
District X. Yeah. I'm trying to think of it. It's so hard now. Nightcrawler, we had a little mini series, so I was always like little things of the X-Men.
Right.
I was getting, and also I got to a point where I was like, okay, if I don't like the direction that the writer's doing, I'll have to wait for another series
to come, another series or another writer to pick up. Yeah.
That's why I realized like, oh, I don't have to get everything. You know, Daredevil, I was like, well, I'm gonna get everything. Yeah. But yeah, that was my first X-Men. It was through my brother. The comics at least, because I already had we were getting the toys, but definitely the comics. And well, I guess also I remember I was in first grade for my birthday, and my mom, we walked, and I got this. She got me the Storm toy, the I Am Every Woman Storm. Had the black hair, gold with the gold lightning bolt that lit up.
Yeah, her Shaka God face.
Yeah. So so that was like one of my first action figures too, I think. So I remember that. And then later on, reading the comics from my brother.
Nice. Who is your favorite X-Men character then and now?
Oh, then and now. Oh boy. Oh man. You can't have one. I feel like you gotta give me. It
changes all the time. Like
it does change. I keep a roster. Then I might have gone Nightcrawler, and Storm. Then Nightcrawler. I like Forge. I still like Forge.
Forge is dope.
I have a friend that always giving them shit. Oh, he's smart. This is what power. I'm like, well, not really. He's an inventor, and everything works out in his subconscious. Like he creates. And that's often got him in trouble too. Why him and Storm are all the way together.
Hey, no, but you gotta give like Forge is the only person who ever broke up with. Forge is the only one who ever broke up with Storm. Like he's about to propose. She's
wrong. Yeah.
She hesitated for a minute. He's like, bye.
Whoa. Yeah, it's like damn. You didn't.
That's cold. That's Iceberg Slim. That's crazy to me.
I'm trying to think. Nightcrawler was I was a big fan of. I'll say like Nightcrawler. So Nightcrawler's at the top. Now, man, listen.
All of them.
I feel I say it enough on Twitter. Like, look, I'm a Scott Summers guy. Listen, that's the number one mutant draft pick. I don't care. I don't fucking care. That my man was in the trenches. And I really like, and also when you're younger, you might be like, oh yeah, Wolverine's the cool one. As soon as you hit 30, you're like, look, Cyclops had to manage a bunch of different personalities. And then when X-Men Blue and Gold started, he had all the fucking
the crazy ones. He had the crazy
and he had all the cool kids, the misfit and the killers were all on his side. And like he had to manage. Cyclops is like the greatest manager in Marvel of all, like one of the greatest managers of all time. And also, I really liked him in the beginning because let's get real. In the beginning, they should have all been black, really, because they're to teach us, oh, we're mutants, whatever. But you're still a bunch of white folks, whatever. Jean, you wouldn't know she had a power just by looking at her. Warren could hide his wings under a trench coat. Beast, I mean, before the blue serum, looked like just a brolic dude.
Yeah,
Iceman,
he's just like that big dude, like who played football.
exactly. So like, you don't look too crazy. Iceman, all right, just don't turn into shitty ice.
He was the kid. He was.
Yeah. Don't just don't turn to your ice form. Scott, what I always liked about him is his in a sense, it's his ability, his in a sense, it's a disability. So his disability was always seen because a friend Homer told me about this. Like glasses, people wear glasses. It was more like a fashion statement. It's a disability. You don't have poor sight. It's a disability. So what I liked about Cyclops was that was always he couldn't hide that. Like I mean, you have shades on, we have shades inside, whatever. Like this is a disability, and when you had the visor on, it's even more evident. It's not something that he could hide. Also, there's something it was explained in the Champions one when like the young Cyclops came to the present. He was like they went against what's his name not Psycho Pirate. That's these. It's Marvel's version of Psycho Pirate. What's not Psycho Man? I forget. Some some guy, and it made he hit Cyclops with a ray, made him manic, and he was like getting all he was like because before he's always so contained, and then the champions are seeing him like being like real manic or high up and down. Like, oh man, I love flying. Barrel rolls are so great. The other time down, like, oh man, I'm sorry, and then he gets manic. He's like, oh, I'm sorry if I was freaking out, man. I can't cut loose. He's like, I honestly, I don't even know what'll happen if I cry. I never cry because I don't know what's going to happen for it. This ability, all it does for me is take. I can't look into someone else's eyes. I don't know what'll happen if I cry. If I lose control, I could kill everyone around me. All this ability does is take from me. And then you see what he sees as you look out the window, everything's just red. He goes, all it ever does is take. But he doesn't remember that once he gets cured, he's like, did I do anything embarrassing? Because they don't forget. And they're like, no, you're just a stick in the mud as always. No, oh, okay, but they all saw like
but the X-Men always do, and they always do him like that. Like you have to be the one that keeps everybody in line. Like when with Avengers versus X-Men, when all the X-Men just turned on him, like, wow, this has been a long time coming.
Oh, the schism? You're talking about the Avengers versus X-Men
when he went Dark Phoenix.
Oh, I mean, listen, hey. Gene blew up how many billions of people? I killed one dude stepping calling me boy. It just happened to be Xavier. What do you want me? I mean, like, shit happens, but like, oh, she blew up a galaxy. Everyone gave her the benefit of the doubt. I go crazy, and all he wanted to do was get rid of all the nukes in the world. I'm like, I'm not seeing how. And then the whole mutant terrorist thing. I'm like, how is this man a terrorist when he stepped to the Avengers? He's like, what I see is a mutant coming into his own, and please putting a gun in his face. Like, are you like?
Yeah.
Not wrong here, but I really enjoy that era of Cyclops too. I really like Cyclops, always been my favorite. So
he's dope. He's great.
Cyclops, I gotta give it to Cyclops, Storm, Manifold.
Manifold is dope.
Yeah, Cyclops, Storm, Manifold, Nightcrawler, Bishop's always been I've been a big fan of Bishop as well. Armor, I really like Armor too, but like
Armor's dope.
She's to like the divisions, but like give me as long as I got Cyclops, Storm. I love Manifold, man. I really love Manifold.
Okay, I think Manifold is actually Bishop's dad. Like,
that'd be yeah, because they're Aboriginal. That's right.
Right. So like, and also,
I mean, he does come from an alternate timeline, and he's also but Bishop absorbs. I mean, two mutant powers. Their kid can always have different offspring. But that'd be interesting to see.
No, check this out. I think Manifold is his dad, and I think Shuri is his mom. I think Chikala is his uncle. So check this out. Gateway is, we've established that Gateway is Bishop's grandfather. We know this. We don't know, like, I think Manifold is his dad, just a younger version of his dad. So because
Manifold, that's his grandfather, but Gateway and Manifold aren't.
No, I mean, well, like an ancestor, like he calls
ancestor. Yes.
It could be like his great grandfather, but if they were to actually like make that connection, Bishop, he's a future heir to Wakanda.
That's wild.
I just make connections. Like it just like everybody says, oh, Storm's his grandmother. Like, you know what? There are more black mutants in the world than Storm. Stop it. Like they're not gonna.
I also don't like how she was done because when they took away Ava's ex, when they took away her marriage to Choppin, that was the wackest thing. That was the most horrible. Like he's written out a character, annulling it and everything like that. Like it was just, and I mean he's going.
He didn't even go to counseling.
they're going through it right now too. He's not, I mean it's like the MCU sanity shit too. But like, nah, you gave it like the Watcher appeared at their wedding, man. You can't. like
You can't just let that go. It's weird.
like the Watcher only shows up for like cosmically historical events, and
This was
like,
big.
you're about to be like you're the bridge between the humans and mutants now. You're bigger than like this is a world that you're always been prepared for. Like this, and now it's finally here. And then like, oh, that gets taken away, and then I mean now she's back to being regional Saul and shit. Like so, it worked out in the end. But I'm like, I'm still in gripes about that.
I'm still like the way that broke up and way like Black Panther is kind of using, because when he went to Rocco,
Yeah.
We found out like I called it, like Gentle was a spy, DT a spy.
That
And
was wild. That
I was like, you ain't shit.
I liked it and didn't like it, but I was like, that is wild as fuck. That was under Ridley Scott's
Right. Yeah, this happened like a couple months ago. And
yeah,
then later on, Storm him and like, oh, I still in line. I'm like, he like Storm, he's playing you. He's playing you so hard.
It'd be nice to see T'Challa not like, oh, like that type of, because people are like, why do we always have to have him like this type of cunning, ruthless, whatever. That depiction, or as opposed to just like a dude that's prepared for everything. So like, it's been, I'm like
Cyclops, but Cyclops doesn't send people to spy on his friends.
That shit is.
Because Scott's a real one. Okay, who is your favorite villain?
Oh, X-Men villain or just villain?
Yeah, X-Men villain and like Marvel villain. Humanity, like it's humanity for me. They just show how much they ain't shit at every turn.
Oh, humanity?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, man, if I, you know what? And it's always weird whenever I see like whenever I see like, oh, the mutant people being like upset at mutants and shit like that. I'm always curious when they draw like Black people in it, because I'm like, would Black people react like that, or is it like the case where it's like, oh, because when there's someone now under you get to be on, you know what I mean? Like in terms of race, we're like, oh, did someone else?
We're all cool now because there's somebody who's worse than
yeah. So I'm like, but I'm trying to. I like. I don't know if you call him a villain though. I like Taskmaster. I like reading his series as a villain. If I'm thinking X-Men, man, I've really been enjoying Mr. Sinister. This depiction is hilarious. He is hilarious. Like he is so fucking funny and so shifty and shady and sinister. I'm like, it might be Mr. Because I mean, if I'm right, I'm reading it, like it might be Mr. Sinister. I'm like that dude is just so shady. He's just, yeah, I think I might like, yeah.
It's Moira for me. Moira.
Oh, I can't stand
Talk
her.
Talk about it.
I guess that is a real, like, that's a true like villain, and I'm like, damn, but I don't think she's
playing the victim. She made it seem like, oh, they betrayed me.
Man, when you did this.
Right, you wanted to get all the mutants together so you can kill everybody.
With the legacy virus, right? With the legacy virus, that was her.
Yeah, with the cure, and then like, and then she gets mad because somebody figured it out, and then it's like, oh, they betrayed me. Like, see this, I knew something was about you. You're playing a white woman right now.
She wasn't gonna do the cure in this timeline. She wasn't gonna do the cure because Destiny's like, I will. If you do this again, I'll know. I will find you. And then telling Mystique like, yo, they don't bring me back. Burn that bitch down. Right. I'm like, all right. So and then I'm like, all right, okay. So then Destiny's brought back because of and they were playing Mystique, man. That's fucked up. Like, oh, no precogs. That's really fucked up.
Okay, I get all right. I give Xavier Magneto a pass because remember at the end of House of X, Powers of X, they were like, you know, we're gonna have to tell everybody the truth because and like Moira was like, no, we don't need precogs because they're gonna say that we always lose. Like, no, if they would have caught on to your bullshit a long time ago, and Xavier, I feel like right now he's super embarrassed because he believed his friend. Like he thought that woman was his friend, and she used him and made him look like a punk, like he's some sort of Soviet crack dealer now. I give him a pass. I mean, yeah, he's done some shady stuff.
Oh, he's so much shit.
But I will always say the whole thing with Legion, that was not his fault. That is Legion's mom. Legion's mom was
no, wait. I thought Proteus was Legion's Proteus is their kid. I don't know who
okay,
Legion...
Proteus is Moira's kid.
Yeah.
And, Legion is Xavier's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Proteus's mom was named Gabrielle Holler. And her whole thing was like she and Xavier hooked up back in Israel, and when Xavier left for America, she found out she got pregnant. But then she didn't tell anybody that she already had a husband. They just got separated. Gotcha. And so she had the baby with her husband, thinking it was his, and didn't tell Xavier at all.
Did this get retconned then? Because when Moira crashes the Hellfire Gala, she steps to Proteus and is like, oh, I always hated you, or like you were.
No. That was yeah. So to Proteus, but not Legion. Not to Legion.
So Proteus is Moira's kid.
Yeah, that is her kid.
Oh, okay. Oh, Legion, you were explaining before. Got you. Yeah,
and like so, anytime Legion's like in Legion of X, anytime they make a little pot shot towards Xavier, I'm like, that wasn't even his fault. That is some baby mama drama. Where the
I was always wondering. I was wondering who his mother was. I'm like, Proteus.
Yeah, she's an Israeli diplomat. She's human.
Got you.
Yeah. But yeah, Moira ain't shit.
I'm like, but it's wild because like, I mean, it was just a hard lesson to learn. She's like, nah, don't bring them back. And then they got brought back and told the truth, but then the truth was that they always do lose. They do always lose. And then, but I'm like, yo, you did the shady dealings, man. You kept, and then I love how Cypher stepped in, like, yo, like, you know, the shit you find out about your parents with like. Our job as children trying to be better than our parents. I was giving you a head start at least. Like I was like, all right, but then like you're on the run. I mean, mistakes kind of hunting you down. Fine. I'm like, all right, but you kind of deserve. You're in the wrong for this shit. But then to go on Orcus, I'm like,
yeah,
like,
that was wild. Like, wow.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know what? If a villain's someone like I can't stand her.
Yep.
And you know who's pissed? Everyone's like loving her. People like really, really loving her. I love her design. I love her powers like that. She's cool.
She ain't shit.
Nah, Iska.
Oh yeah, Iska.
Flip
flops.
I can't. And I'm like, well, maybe she's not a villain, but I'm like, and maybe it's her power making her do that thing. But like, okay, for the Uranus thing. There's no guarantee that Uranus would have been like, oh, you're on my side, you're sick. But I'm like, because it's just a flip flop in
it. It's weird. Like she just cut that dude's head off.
Yeah, and when I turned the page and saw that, I was like, come on. I was like, not again, because she did the same thing in a fucking Otherworld against the Myth. I'm like, dog.
You have no loyalty.
Dog. But then it's the question, like, is that the power, or is that, I'm like, well, what if you chose to, you know what I mean? Like,
it seems like she chose it. Like, I'm sorry to think Iska is the mystique of
yes,
circle.
Yes. And I do like how, remember how Robert DaCosta was like, I can show you how I can lose and even I can win even if I lose. She's like, what? And he's like, oh, I bet you Magneto wins. And when Magneto was going against Tar, and she was like, what? No. A challenge breaks his she stabbed his neck.
Yeah.
And then Magneto beat Tarn, and then at the meeting, Magneto's like, well, what the fuck was that all about up in the stands? And she's like, oh, you have a challenge. But then what's the eye's name?
Oh, Aura or something. Yeah, Aura.
Yeah, with the law. She's like, yo. She's like, that had nothing to do with it. If you can't, he stepped in with the challenge. Like, if you can't control your actions when people talk to you, that's on you. And Magneto won fair and square. You had nothing to do with that. I was like, and that is the law. I was like, oh.
I love how Magneto was like, I see you went after one of my students when my back is turned. Try that again. Yeah. Try it again. I bet you ain't gonna happen the same way twice.
And it's, I know, and the X of Swords, and they're like, oh, we have a friend that's her probability is her power. I wonder what happened. Talking about Domino, like what would happen if she fought you? It's like she'd lose. So she's so. She's always so strong, but like Storm, they're I think either the next issue or the issue after the next, Storm's coming, and they're like, what, stalemate the stalemate is victory's loss, I think it is. So like Storm and Storm always makes things a stalemate. And so it's she's about to get taken. Like Storm already took down Tarn. She was the first to take down Tarn till Magneto.
Tar is bad.
Yeah.
Tar is really bad.
And
but
he was
just not as bad as Iska. Because you know what you are going in with Tar.
Fuck you to their thing. And I'm like, because he was born of a Ment, right? And he was like one of their fucking colonizers and shit. And I'm like, why is she so cool with dude? Like, whatever. All right.
Yeah. What was your first X-Men crossover? Or what's your favorite?
I don't know if I remember my first. You know what? Judgment Day might be my favorite. Wow. I think Judgment Day is shaping up to be as good as Civil War. And I'm trying to think of like, I think that's where where it all suffered with X-Men. Like there's so many crossovers and shit. And I think like, like the summer blockbuster and shit. Like it wasn't A versus X wasn't it. I liked them, and I like what Emma was saying to Miss Marvel at the time, Carol Danvers, Captain America, Carol Danvers and Captain America. No, Tony Stark and Carol Danvers. When they were like, oh, can you sign, step to the
superhero
registration, help with the pro registration, and she was like, where the fuck, where are y'all, motherfuckers?
We're on a reservation right now.
Yeah, and like, we just got our students just got bombed going onto a bus. Where were you? And like, and if anything. It's like we're out of this, and like, and then she tells Carol, she showed Carol what was going on, and like if your war's anything like ours going on, you're gonna need a lot more shovels and graves. And I was like,
talk about
screaming that shit. But again, like, it's a white person saying these things. I was like, someone that looks like us. I'm like, that was like on that show, The Gifted. They're like, oh, people like me are being hunted. I'm like, you're a blonde kid with blue eyes. I don't.
You could hide.
Yeah, I'm like, this doesn't really, and that's where like the whole analogy thing, it stops dead for me, because I'm like, all right, you start saying these lines for like that usually that go to people that are oppressed, you know what I mean? It doesn't hit the same when it's just a white person. Oh, I'm being pursued. I'm like,
I know, like
maybe Beast and Nightcrawler can say this shit, you know what I mean? But like
maybe Storm, give me like Bishop. Let Bishop say
something. Give me someone else. I mean, even aside from Storm and Bishop, because Bishop, I mean, I love Bishop, but also Godmother. I mean, he became a cop of Mutant Town, which is fine. But when in his time, he wasn't really. He was kind of like he was a slave to the system in his time, like the hunters and shit like that.
Yeah, okay, right? I can see that.
Because it wasn't because they're Bishop the cop. I'm like, I mean, might in a post-apocalyptic. It's all he knew to do.
He needed a job.
It was forced upon him, like concentration. My man, it was in a system. But for crossover, I think House of X, that wasn't even like a crossover, but like this shit is this is the X-Men shit I was fucking waiting for, and fucking I gotta say Judgment Day so far. All the shit going on, like I it's a must for me. It's gotta be Judgment Day.
When did you figure out X-Men was your like I rock with this? Like at what point in the X-Men did you realize like I love this? Like I'm going to be reading this forever.
I'm trying to think if it was a certain storyline or something. I can remember things that solidify it for, but like they're much more recent. Like with like Scott stepping to the Avengers and being like, I see a kid coming to as a mutant and a gun in his face. I'm there. I don't care what and then the Hawkeye being like, oh, whatever. Thanks for putting a big X on your face. And he's like, Havoc. And Captain America's like, Havoc's with us. He's like, I don't care what coon shit you got my brother on, man.
You guys like you're like, first of all, it's fucked up what you did to my brother, bro. It's not cool. Boy. Not cool. They were furry action X-Men.
When I found finding out that like Storm, when she stabbed Callisto, I'm like, oh yeah, we like this is my shit right here. Her when she like that whole mutant massacre shit.
Oh yeah, but like I don't know, maybe my whole thing with Storm, I can like everybody says Storm's this great leader, but at the same time, like she couldn't lead the Morlocks. Like
that's why she get back the what's it called? She gave it back to Callisto.
Yeah, but like anytime somebody brought it up and like I'm sorry, like when Marrow came into it and she's like, you let us die. She's like, I tried, the X-Men gave them dignity. No, you left them in the source. Like they didn't want to isolate themselves from everyone and live in your private townhouse and just be like poster
Good leaders
child.
also able to take feedback, man. Like, all right, you got me. All right, you got me. But
Like,
with
good point.
Cyclops leadership, which everybody loves talking about, and Cyclops like, all right, he's like, all right, you went, the best man won, and then he's leaving. He goes, did that really just happen? Well, he's like, did that really just happen? Oh, I guess I gotta live with it. I'm like, that is Scott Summers' motto for his entire life.
It's like, I guess
All right, I gotta live with it. All right. I'm gonna cry in the car, whatever.
No, I'm just gonna be like, I don't know what happened back there. Like it kind of seems like that era of X-Men, like Storm, Wolverine, Colossus, Nightcrawler. They didn't really like Cyclops because they were quick to get rid of him. They were like Xavier just left it to go into space for space rehab, and then like, oh yeah, like, and then Madeline went to Storm like, how can we raise a child in such a dangerous environment when the Fantastic Four were doing the same thing at the same time? She needed to call Sue Storm.
Like, Star, shit's wild. How you doing this? Like,
but hey, we got Cable. Cable, and he's like, I love my childhood.
My childhood was great. I was just fighting and shit. It was awesome.
Yeah, right. I was raised as a messiah. Like, everybody loved me. Like, my dad. Like, yeah, my dad may have like sent me into the future, but he came back to help raise me.
Yeah, like, they did. Him and Jean for a time. They were.
Jean is the best stepmother ever. Like, she accepts all of Scott's kids. She is like, hey, your kids are my kid. We're married. Your kids are my kids. Except,
I mean, Rachel was there from like another timeline. It's like, hey, that doesn't involve me. This one's from this one. That's all I got. No, I got the one from this one. This one. All right,
I like this one. I like the boy. Which X-Men writer is your favorite all time? If you had an option to get a book, and who would you get? Like,
I just to be, because I saw such a fanboy for what's going on now, but I really like what Hickman did. But I'm loving Al Ewing's already one of my favorite at Marvel, and him being on an X-Men book. I love him when he's on a team book, so he's able to highlight everybody. Him being on this X-Men book, X-Men Red, it's been top notch.
It's amazing.
I am loving this shit. So like, he might be my favorite. He might be my favorite because even in that new X-Men, who was doing that new X? I remember Christopher Yost was the artist on it.
Which new X-Men?
It was new X-Men.
Grant Morrison.
Grant who? Morrison was that?
Yeah, Morrison did the first new X-Men.
Wait, not with the students that were Prodigy, Sir.
Mike Ryan and it was like Mike Carey and Mike Ryan, the ones who just put all the students through.
Yeah.
That was good. That was really cool.
I really enjoyed that. But if like you're telling me like, oh, who to write X-Men, like, oh, then I'm like, I hate to be like, oh, because it's like not even that's a trend now, but I'm like, I've never enjoyed X-Men as much as I fucked with it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've never enjoyed it as much as I have now. Like with even like Shizm, I'm like, okay, Wolverine, Cyclops fighting, but like this is, I mean, it's goddamn. But like I've never enjoyed it more now. Like, oh, this is what it was always supposed to be. This is like finally like progress. Yeah, it's gotta be Ewing. Yeah, Ewing. I mean, he's written like, are we waiting for someone to write Storm like the way she should be? Ewing did it. He did it with Sword. He was writing Sword, right? I think Sword was I think Sword was his, and then he got X-Men Red. I'm like, dog, I first saw his shit on what was it, maybe Mighty Avengers. Yeah, I'm like, he's been a favorite ever since then, man. I fucking love this shit. It's so funny because he's this squirrely old British white dude, man. I remember seeing him at Comic Con. I was like, oh shit, you're Al Ewing. He's like, yeah. I really enjoy it. Oh, thank you. And I'm like, all right, that's a weird style, man. But I fucking, man, I love that fucking dude. Like, his Ultimates run was because Coast was writing fucking Black Panther, A Nation Under Our Feet, and the Wakanda shit, like, and Ewing had Black Panther on the team, and I'm like, I just felt like Ewing was like, look, I ain't gonna be the weak link. Writing this motherfucker, man. And then he fucking had T'Challa ghost riding the fucking Tiger God into a battle that was fucking a battle on the fucking, not even the astral plane, the fucking imaginary plane of existence. I'm like, this is Ewing's different. I'm like, this motherfucker is. I fucking love
But he
Ewing.
loves continuity. That's what.
Yeah,
Like he will acknowledge something that happened a long
time ago.
And but
Exactly.
a lot of these current X-Men writers don't. It's like they only like they pick and choose what they like, and it's just I don't like
Work.
I don't like Teeny Howard. I don't like Leah Williams. I don't like Vita. I don't like Cy Spurrier. Those are my four horsemen of really bad X-Men writers.
Which ones were they writing?
Leah Williams did X Factor. Teeny Howard did Knights of X. Vita's doing New Mutants right now. And Cy Spurrier is doing.
Wait, you didn't like the current X Factor?
No, yeah, okay.
You didn't like that? I love that.
I did not. Okay, it started off strong. I thought it was gonna be X Factor investigations, but like SVU, they were gonna start investigating mutant deaths all over the world. But then it just became like a Peter David homage. And like, okay, it is like
they gotta wait for the only death they really saw was Sirens, right?
Siren and
Auroras. Yeah. Sirens, Auroras. What was Siren's whole thing again?
The Irish death god, like from Peter David. Like she came back and he kept on killing.
Okay. And then Prodigy's own thing with that guy that was killing queer kids.
I thought that really put the nail in the coffin where it was like, wow, the only black character he has to be hate crimed. Wow.
Gotcha.
Nobody else got hate crime.
This is really intricate how but I enjoy because like we got to see more of Dawkins' personality there, and cool. And then they're like Prodigy called him a slut, and Dawkins was like, "Yeah, aren't you too?" They're like, "Yeah, I have to, whatever."
But but also what I didn't like about it is how like you start seeing how the characters felt about Xavier. Like there was this one issue where Xavier said, like, "Hey, we heard about iBoy's powers. Could you like give us some like just monitor? Can you give us like updates on what he's doing?" And Northstar just writes, "No."
Yeah. Good. Listen, man, Xavier's been on some shady fucking shit,
but
man.
Northstar has no reason not to trust him, though. They've always been cool.
But then think of it like this: this is an active crime scene. Like, oh, just tell us what's going on. Nah, because like, who knows how you might influence that shit, or like knowing what that. You ain't that's micromanaging. You handle it. Your quiet counsel. You handle that shit. This shit comes up to that chain of command. Fine, but like Xavier State trying to have his hands in so many pots now. That's the problem. That's a really big problem because the same thing happened with fucking Legion of X. Remember when he wrote the note to Kurt?
Yeah.
And Kurt said the same shit. Like, oh, I want you to report into me about what's going on
with Juggernaut.
Nah. And then I've heard you've been you have detainees. Might I remind you that the Quiet Council handles all detainees. I know you want to look for something other than corporal punishment, aka throwing them in a fucking hole like it did Sabretooth.
Hey, some of them deserve it though. Sabretooth deserved it.
Okay, but in Sabretooth's because Victor, I think it's Victor LaValle that's writing the Sabretooth solo. If we're just going to throw people under the prison, then how are we any different than the humans?
Fair. Okay, no, I give you that.
And that's the whole thing. That's where Kurt's coming from. One, Sabretooth, and that's what they explore in Sabretooth as well. Because then there were 4 others that were thrown into the hole too.
Yeah, like that would okay. Some of those were really weird. Like,
but they explain like, oh, don't harm the land. Like, I was practicing my powers. I wanted to join up, be of use.
They needed a danger room. They needed in the pit. They needed a danger room.
And then he tells them like, oh, really? Why we were thrown in there because we wouldn't stay in our place. And the one black vampire chick talks about, I got pale skin, but I'm fucking black. Like these 2 people, these mercenaries were rushing us. They were coming on the shore and they were gonna kill us. I killed them first. Oh no, kill no man. That's a law. I get thrown in here. Mind you, way back when they still had the fucking school and they got attacked. Cyclops wasn't there. Wolverine wasn't there. Cyclops was in they were both in communications with Idie. And and she was like, "What do I do?" Cyclops was like, "Do what you have to do." And Wolverine's like, "No, I'm almost there. Like, just hide." And she's like, "They're coming in with guns."
No, and I get that. I totally get that. Like, yeah, but Sabretooth, like, he was told, "Don't kill." Like, hey, we want you to break into danger.
I remember he disobeyed.
Don't kill nobody. And what did he do? He killed a bunch.
Everybody. Yeah,
he's killed more people than COVID.
Yeah,
but like he should have gone in, or they should have put him on Araco because
exactly.
But they didn't have Araco back then.
That wasn't an option, but there's still option now. You can take them out like, all right, we're sending you over here. So it's like also like, well, how long, like, again, like, are we just, all right, you did one thing, like, I mean, he's done multiple things wrong, but we gave you the second chance. You did break the law, yes, but like, there's still like rehabilitation.
There are options. There should be
there are other options.
Thought out options. Yeah.
Throwing you in a hole. And what happened? Duke created a whole hell. He created a hell under Krakoa. You know what I mean? So like that, like, so again, like, and he's like, they didn't give me a chance. They wanted me to do this. I did the dirty work. A motherfucker stabbed you with a gun, man. I mean, he only shot you, whatever.
He could have punched him. He could have just punched him.
I think he could have done. But again, if we're just going to like, we're trying to be better than the humans, but why are we just imitating what they've done with punishment? You know what I'm saying? Like incarceration.
Yeah.
Well, like, if we're going to be better, then we would have some. You know what I mean?
Like they should have taken him out and put him on a Rocco, because Rocco would have loved. I could see Sabretooth on a Rocco running a bar. And
I think he gets killed. I think he gets fucking killed, because I mean, and also there's another thing we forget. Like Sabretooth, unless things have been retconned, this man's been he's assaulted people, he's assaulted women and shit in his past. So like, yeah, a lot. So I'm like, I don't know why I'm just like, are we retconning that or not? So I'm like, but also like, yeah, he should be on a rock, but like, I guarantee this nigga will get his shit rocked. He is not like find out like you're not the big dog. Like, oh, you were small fit, you're a big fish, small pond. Come here, you live like.
Like let him like no, but knowing him, he would just end up hooking up with Iska or something. Like
no, she's not beating him.
No, not beating him, but like no, she would be beating him.
Oh yeah, she'd be. But I don't even think he gets like. I just think he gets fucking sunned. He gets humbled. I think he gets fucking humbled. But I do love, man, when fucking those
dudes who got in there, they did not deserve. Even that one dude, Madison Jeffries.
Yeah, he did nothing wrong.
Okay, he did nothing wrong. I actually think he is Danger's baby daddy. Like just.
I got you.
Yeah, because like he wanted to create a habitat for Danger, but it didn't mesh.
No technology. They don't allow technology and shit. Where I was like, because of fucking, they're so scared of Orcus and all that. And then that Hellions mission that went wrong. Like, well, had you let them like this was AI that could have been on your side, but then you had fucking Cyclops kill him, and then like, you know, it's.
Well, to be fair, anytime they had technology, it's always come back to try to kill them. Sentinels, Omega Sentinels.
I mean, they got fucking techno-organic shit. Warlock.
That is Warlock.
No, and also not yet, because like that's as you see in House of X, and that's far off in the future. That's his other people. That's not him.
Oh, the Phalanx. Yeah,
that's not him though. That's some motherfuckers over there.
It's just wild with them. Just like I hear what you're saying. Like with Sabretooth, they could have done something really different for him. They could have kept him in the pit and then said, like, listen, our bad. We shouldn't have put you in the pit.
I mean, Doug kind of does it because Cypher lets him out. There's also because it's like it's not fucking making point and shit. Now then he's like, I got a fate worse than death for him. You guys got to hunt him down. The new Exile's coming. I'm like, all right, I have to read that still too. Because they brought back Birdie too.
Yeah. Like they're not telling them that they brought back Birdie. Like, we ain't gotta tell him.
I gotta read that shit. It's gonna be good. But like, yeah, like if we're gonna be better than the humans, then let's not do the human shit. Especially like because Iska told them, then like, I see you for what you are. You're children trying to play a child government. You know, remember she was like
Iska, who are you talking to?
I mean, she wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong, but god damn, it just hurts coming from her.
I know, but she's like she's talking about Krakoa. She doesn't know about the other countries. She ain't talking about Wakanda. She like because Wakanda, like I just have this whole thing. Like I get the feeling that Wakanda is low key hating on Krakoa because like the rest of the world just hates Krakoa, just hates them. But Wakanda does the same thing. Like they have technologies they don't share with the world, but no one ever talks about that.
They're on that council. I don't think they were not bothered by it. And Storm and I forgot what issue they're fighting. They're fighting off something on the ship, and then Storm's like, "Remember when you told me when we said we made a new metal?" And he's like, He's like, "My love, is now the time for this?" He goes, "Oh, you made a new metal. How cute!" They go, "Wow, is it cute now?" Because like, no, because like all the shit that it's brought on from it and shit. I don't think then Wakanda was on that galaxy. They're like, all right, we don't need your new metal. We don't need this. Like, we're just like
they're chilling over here. But it's just like y'all can't say y'all cool. Just like it would give.
I would like for them to be. I think there should be because they didn't need the drugs because they didn't want it. They're like whatever. And also Xavier extended an invitation to them like Why didn't you send Storm?
Did-
That was a clear-cut choice before any, and they were still on good terms then and shit. Like you could, like that was again a ball drop right there. Like, and also there's not enough black people on the fucking or black or people of color on the Quiet Council, man. I'm like, this is again
what like Xavier, white, Hope, white, Destiny, Mystique, Sinister, white.
right.
The only black. Oh wow.
Storm's the only black person. I think Exodus might be a he might be a person
French.
of color.
He's
I think he might be from the Middle East. I'm not sure because he had the Crusade shit on though. But I'm like,
yeah, no, like he's French. Like he was just in.
Okay, but you can.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Is he French white or black French? Like what? He's not.
I think you know what?
I don't know.
It could be either or. It really could be.
Unless it's been retcon or whatever. Because like in that preview. Oh no, in that one with fuck, what was it?
And more like over the Exodus.
Where they're fighting that kaiju recently.
Oh,
and he wakes up. He saw the Phoenix.
Magneto. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Not Charles Magneto. They're fighting the
Oh, Celine. You talk about when they were fighting.
No. It's recent. They're fighting the It's in Judgment Day. It's during because the Eternal sent over the kaiju.
Right.
It's the issue where it's when they got that that's the Unimind was attacking.
Yeah. You're right.
I'm getting thrown in memories. We're under a psychic attack, and we're seeing like his past and shit, how he met.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly. That one.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, he's drawn brown here in the desert, but he's wearing a Crusades thing.
Yeah.
Man,
it could be like
I don't know. But the Crusades are those are Europeans for the Crusades. You know what I mean? Like
Apocalypse was black. Like there was like two black mutants on the council, and left.
The other
Apocalypse.
Oh yeah, but he's no longer there.
Yeah. Just like he stepped down.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I feel it. I do like that. Scott was like, well, the war captain, man. He was like, sounds like I'm stepping down. Ben said, you new war captain. We ain't voting about this shit. He's like,
see, Cyclops is that dude. He's like, I don't need to be controlled all the time. I give it to the next one. Somebody who wants to do it. And Bishop was like, okay, yeah.
And then they were like, oh, so everyone's like, you're not asking us, you're telling us. And they're like, yeah, why? Do you want to fight about it? There's I think it was his name's GL_2814.3 on Twitter. And my man's like, all the war captains want to do is fight. You want to fight about it? That's it. They just want to fight. You want to fucking fight about it? And they're like, oh, you're telling us, Bishop? Like, yeah. Unless y'all want, like, and then Ileana was like, any of y'all got disagree, we don't care.
Take it outside.
Like, this isn't up for debate. Why you want to fight? And then like, that's all they fucking do.
Did you notice how Ileana just bullied her way onto the X-Men? She just
she's great.
She's like, I'm like, I really want somebody to really take her up on that. Be like, all right, we're gonna do this. What? And we find out that she's all Cap.
No, she is not. She is what she
is. That'd be funny though. Like just like and somebody just hurts her with words. Like, how is your brother, how is everybody in your family except for Colossus completely fucking crazy? Your brother is crazy. You're crazy. Like,
nah, Magic different, man. That girl, she is battle tested. She came into her own. Like, I rock with Ileana.
I like her too. And it's just like she just does stuff.
Yeah, she just be doing shit to do shit. Like, okay, you gonna stop me? You gonna fight? Like, oh, I don't want. All right, you got it.
Like, all right, fine. Jeez, it's not even that serious.
The war captains are all ready to fucking fight. I love it.
I love
Quinnan, yeah. With it.
She like, how is she a better Psylocke than Betsy was?
Exactly. I'm so glad they fixed that too. That was really good.
It's like, wow, like with Betsy, you had to really lean into the magic stuff, and she's not really interesting now. Like,
that's her own fault, man. Why stop having this white woman run around in the Asian woman's body? I'm just glad that's fixed.
Yeah,
that's it. I'm like, whatever, because I'm like, I didn't read. I wasn't really into Excalibur. I'm like, I like X-Force, but then I'm like, actually, the problems being caused are really coming from Hank McCoy. I remember someone was like, remember when Hank used to be fun? Remember that?
Right. I'm like, Wow.
Like, yeah, man, this guy turned all fucking like evil Frazier and shit. Like,
He was
oh,
pretty sure. And then Abigail Brand was like, he's trying to do the right thing, but like he's making all the best bad choices as
yeah,
opposed to taking
yeah.
bad choices. Like I
They were
would.
like, he was like, this. I mean, he's only this way after he started dating Abigail Brand. That's why.
Like,
And
it's
Brand
like,
too, man. Listen,
you can't,
Brand. Look,
you can't trust. She wants to be Nick Fury so bad.
So bad. And she's working with Orcus too. I'm like, but are you gonna double? I'm like,
What is your deal?
She's a mutant, but she's not a mutant. She got by Uranus. I'm like, we ain't gotta bring her back. I'm like,
no, not at all.
She's at the back line of the queue. I swear to God, she better be at the fucking far. She better be the very last one brought back. Unlike my man, fucking John Proudstar. I'm so glad my nigga back. Thunderbird.
They made him. They made him into an asshole. Which
I love it. He was always a dick though. That was it. And also, like, he died. He was still the same. Like, it's been like
50 years.
It was 1975 when Mans died. He wakes up today. He's not gonna have a whole different personality. Like, no, I'm still an abrasive dick. Like, I'm still fuck that. I mean, I do like we explored like, oh, it was from his insecurities and shit now, but now he's coming to his own. I do like that he is working with Cable. He's like, nah, man, my son, I died. My fucking you wrote my I didn't know that Warpath was a Hellion. He's like, you wrote my little brother into this war, and then Cable was talking crazy to him.
But he was right though. He was like, "Hey, man, is there a plane you need to catch?" Like,
we were doing work while you had a plane to catch. I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Oh, you listen."
But he has an issue. But he has an issue all the summers. But like, if you read it, like, get off the plane.
Yeah, Cyclops didn't want him on that mission because he was injured, and then his pride was like, "Oh, you're saying I'm not man enough, whatever." And
no one's saying that.
Professor X was the one that said, "Actually, Cyclops, no taking because you're gonna need all hands on deck." Cyclops sidelined him. He would have been alive. It was Professor X told him to go. He would have been alive had he one. That would save his life there, and two, because it was all John's, like, his insecurities. That's why he kept butting heads with everybody and shit. But and he's like, "Oh, I got a bone to pick with Summers." And meanwhile, Scott Summers is like, "Oh, here's our new plane. We call it
Proud Star."
Yeah, we call it the Proud Star. It was between Proud Star and the Thunderbird because we want to honor everyone that came before. But like, meanwhile, Scott's like, you know what I mean? You fucking that shit, but like, we pay homage to the first X-Men that ever. We pay fucking homage, you know what I mean? And this guy's like got a problem. So I am really excited for when they meet. Because Cyclops doesn't like, I mean, not that he's a bully, but like Cyclops doesn't like the whole rah energy coming at me. Like when the team
even Wolverine comes at him like that, he's like, "Man, if you don't sit your $5 ass down."
Because I think he's gonna be like, I know, like, you're back, things are different, it's a change, but like, let's set the record straight though. I'm the one that sidelined you because you were hurt. Xavier told you to go. I told you to go to the plane. You didn't listen because it was insecurities and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, you challenged me every part of the way. I was trying to fucking, you know what I mean? I read that issue too. Because that was the longest. That was one. Thunderbird, Bucky, and Marvel side. Thunderbird and Bucky were the ones that have been dead the longest.
Oh, Uncle Ben too.
I mean, but he's never came. I mean,
right.
Before he come back, like, Uncle Ben, he's supposed to stay dead. I mean, can you say with Gwen Stacy? Like, all right, but those are the ones that, like, you're supposed to.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, Bucky makes sense because he died off screen. So like, I'm not mad at him coming back at that. Thunderbird, I'm so happy because I always heard about him. I'm like, oh man, Native that was but then he dies. I'm like, oh, that's right. That was in the Claremont. That was in the Claremont.
That was Claremont.
And I was like, oh, you had the Apache, the 1-2 people of color die on the. You know what I mean? Like, you could have killed Apache. But I'm like, all right, whatever. But I'm like, oh, that he's back now. Now he's got Nyla Rose from fucking Nyla Rose and AEW. She wrote his comeback story.
I love her, man. She's dope.
And then she gave him the proper. They got him the proper colors. And I'm like, I'm rocking with this man. I'm rocking with this.
Why isn't John mad at Emma Frost though?
For what? Oh yeah, because of forgiving. Yeah.
It's like, and Cable's the one who from the Hellions at really though, like, John Proudstar has no beef with Cyclops, really. Maybe his son, but not him. And Warpath is way more powerful than his brother.
He's bigger too.
Fly. I don't
think he can fly. Can he fly?
Oh yeah, he could fly. He could fly.
I didn't know that movie new.
Oh, he's been like some writers don't know how to use it, but like he's been able to fly since like for going on like 20 years now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's like happened in X-Force.
Mm-hmm.
He's dope. Warpath, that's my
I
dude.
like Warpath.
I love War. Like that was my one thing with Thunderbird. Like everything we're seeing with Thunderbird, we saw
with Warpath.
Warpath. So it's like we're seeing a retelling of the same story now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right, like
that's why I'm like, well, what's gonna happen now? Because like, when when Cable got brought back the first time, and they're like, then they started. Proud Star was waiting on. Him, like, all right, I got a deep fake of us arguing and shit like that. And he was like, that was a good performance. Like I was performing, I fucking don't like you. But we're gonna take down Brand first, and then Eden was like, oh man, this mad testosterone going down. We got to bring down Brand or what? I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
I really thought Manifold was gonna be like, I was like, okay, oh whoa, is he really leaving the team? Is he gonna get his own book? They better not just leave him out. Leave him out there. It's the Krakoa. Okay, if you went to the school, when would you have joined? If you were to like join the X-Men, what era would you have joined up in?
I would have joined in that new X-Men era. Listen, I'm having Scott as my fucking Scott's my teacher. I don't give a fuck. I'm on Scott. Scott is my teacher. Like I want the most brilliant tactician mind. Probably on Face Marvel. Nick Fury said the less time Cyclops has to make a plan, the better the plan is. And the way he's like, what, you have a plan B? Plan B implies we only have 26 plans. Like I got plans on plans on plans. The man had a kaiju protocol plan. And his humor is dry as fuck. Like in case it's not a kaiju and a giant robot, proceed this way. If you don't recognize a Sentinel, if it's a giant robot and you don't recognize the robot as a Sentinel, hand over command to someone that knows what the fuck a Sentinel is. And then there's a preview for Judgment Day 2 because they're fighting those eternal kaijus.
Yeah.
Jean's like, yo, how we got? Oh, she's like, Exodus knocked off one. Our crazy religious zealot knocked out one. Hold on.
Oh yeah, no, I got it.
She's like, yo, our crazy religious nut zealot just knocked out one kaiju. How you doing over there, Scott? He's like, not great. He's like, he goes, not great. He's like, not great. We can use the hand. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know why. He's like, wait, we're not doing great. I can use the hand. He's like, a giant kaiju that replicates its own fauna. Why didn't I include that in the protocols? It's right in front of me. Why do I always miss the obvious? Yeah, we need help. And I'm like, it's hilarious, but like he's also dead serious.
Right.
The obvious thing.
No, like I would have joined the I'm with you, Cyclops. That's my man. That's my captain. But like when all the X-Men said like, oh, just turn on him after Schism and like after Adventure Attack, I'm like, I know y'all are not talking.
Yeah.
Logan, who are you talking to?
Exactly.
Like this is the guy who's been holding it down. When Storm, remember when things got really bad and Storm went to Africa for a dick. Like, she said it was for helping mutants, but she went up to meet up with Black Panther. Remember that?
Wait, when she was married?
Oh no, but before she got married. It was after House of M, after the mutants lost all their powers. She left the X-Men.
I think I know that story.
Yeah, she left the X-Men, went to Africa, and then she met up with the Black Panther, and that's when they that's how okay. You left for dick. like Kitty. You better sit your dick riding ass down. All you do is dick ride Wolverine, even when he's
her dad, man. That's her dad.
Like nobody always wants to talk about all the 13-year-old girls that you take to other countries. Jubilee, Kitty Pryde, Armor.
I'm like, yeah, that's the parental figure. But I'm like, I just love that everyone's like, yo, Scott, you're wild. I'm like, am I? Am I just tired of motherfuckers shooting at me? Like, no.
I like Scott's tired of all the humans blowing off the house every couple of weeks. Who wants to do that? You the insurance rates are through the roof.
That's like the biggest, like that's my favorite point. It's like, oh, Wolverine's like, let them be kids. And Scott's like, we gotta let them know how to protect themselves. They ain't gotta be child soldiers, not like that, but like we're in a time and a place like we can't just act like, we're a damn target here. We are a target here. These guys gotta know how to defend themselves.
That's why when Cyclops was doing his thing, it was right around the time where we saw all those black teenagers getting killed, like Trayvon Martin happened. I'm like, yep. This
I don't think that was on purpose, but I'm just like, and
I want to say nothing. No, I want like this is why we need black writers for X-Men. Just saying.
As much as I love that speech of Cyclops, I'm like, it would have hit harder if it was someone that's black. Like that's Bishop leading them. That's different.
Hey, Scott's black. He's just light skinned.
I do like to think that because I do like to think that he grew up in a predominantly black orphanage because Mr. Sinister was like experimenting on him and shit like that. I'm like, where else did you get away with that in an orphanage unless the kids were predominantly black or people?
Like just.
And it was in Nebraska though. So I was like, that's a tough choice.
And like and everybody talks about Xavier and all this. Like Xavier saved his life. Sinister, he saw like, oh yeah, I gotta get him away from that dude.
I gotta get him out there. I gotta get you out of this shit, man. This is worse than the dog. It was like either like you're not that great at basketball, man. Let's try this X-Men shit out because Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus, like he probably saw with Sinister and like, yeah, that's fucked up. That's not cool. That's like, yo, Scott, get in the car.
The child services has not been by here. It was a FBI dude too that tipped them off.
Oh, Fred Duncan, yeah.
God damn, good memory.
Hey man, I'm the living memory of the X-Men. It's not just a moniker. I connect the dots. Okay, what would be your mutant powers?
I would say if I had superpower, I would go with speed. If I had a mutant power, I would like to speed. I like speed so much, but like I really like how manifold's a build. If I could
it's a great power.
I think I would rock with I think I'd like to rock with Manifold's ability because I love how it plays a part with his culture, right? Because he's indigenous, aboriginal, and how he's like, I'm not telling space and time, I'm not telling the universe what I want to do. I ask this of the universe. And I just when he was walking away when he was talking to some not Gateway, but like these three dudes. They're like, you sure you want to be there? And he's like, one of the third laws is respect this land. Like they're doing shit right. They're taking things into account. So I would. Oh
yeah. I know it was back in Sword when he went over and he saw like they like respect the sacred man. They still had to make it a law though.
Yeah. And also I'm like, how big was that sword? Why was the sword station almost as big as Earth it looked like? Or maybe that's because it was out the atmosphere, whatever. When he sent it back into space. And then he passes out and he's like, I asked the universe to think like that was a really big ask and I'm fucking drained. I can't move for a bit. Yeah, so I would probably take Manifold. And also when he fucking the Black Knight or whatever.
That's
and then he fucking made a Rasengan out the sun.
Yeah.
And he's like, by the way, I'm not even a mega level mutant. Like this is like you come back here, like the big dogs will be out. Like you can't even take me on. I'm not Omega. Like. And you also have a woman that's the woman that sings to the universe that sits on the Great
Council, yeah.
So I'm like, I think it was like speed and shit. Like I think I would like that ability, and I think I would like that ability a lot. It's either that or I take the Optic Blast like Cyclops. I want man.
Hey, you always rocking like
I know. I'm like I was like just give me the Cyclops shit because also like with his shit. A lot of people don't realize that like his power also is trigonometry as well because he
make it bounce off of stuff. He's really good at pool. He's a ringer in pool. Like a lot of people don't remember that. He plays pool. He will clean you out.
They said I think there's a scene where he like flips a coin and he shoots the center of it out. And there's another scene where he picked this a lock of a car by shooting his laser in. And I think it was on the when he shot the hole out of a quarter. Wolverine was like, "That's the only time I've ever seen Cyclops show off."
Oh man, I've seen him show off a couple times. There was this one time where this happened like back in 2000, where was about to take Eva Destruction, and like Wolverine was like, Cyclops just shot up, it just like bing, 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 and he hit everybody, and Wolverine's like, you know what? I don't like this confident Cyclops. He makes me feel uncomfortable.
I like when Colossus and Colossus and Wolverine were going for the Sentinel, and Cyclops, get behind me. He's like, what we got? I didn't get this. Just get behind me. He's like, all right. He's like, I want this thing on my lawn now. Blows it up, and they're like, You know, every time every so often I remember why you're in charge, and I think this is how crazy this guy put a nuke in your head, and the Cyclops is like, I really get tired of the back and forth fighting. You know, I just so tired of the back and forth. Sometimes I just want it done.
Well, Wolverine's a hater though. That's like you like Wolverine, like you said earlier. You like Wolverine when you're a kid, but when you're out 30, you realize that Cyclops, like he's the good guy. Wolverine is just a prima donna who just does whatever he wants and just says, "Oh, I do what I want to do." Like, okay, in the first second X-Men episode after they got back from the mutant control agency, like Wolverine was coming up and he just punches Cyclops in the stomach. Like, that is some bitch shit.
And it is all right, man. Like, oh, it was a tough call. We had to leave a man behind. Yeah, I know. Like, they're still planning to go back and get him or something. Like, dog. Like, I have other lives to think about. Not all of it. I think it was just like not all of us have a healing factor, Wolverine. You know what I mean? Not all of us are like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not.
And the thing about it is, like during that whole schism thing, Wolverine was saying like, "Oh, if Jean was here, like Cyclops, like, if you know what, Jean doesn't love you." It's like, who do you think she'd be with? And then we find out Jean was with Cyclops like the entire time. Like, yeah, that entire time, I would have been right there with you riding. I'm like, see, Wolverine, this whole perception you have of Jean, it's a fallacy. Jean is as hardcore as Cyclops is.
He was like,
know your role.
You know you scared her, right? She never the infatuation. She was afraid of you. And then Wolverine's like, and what would she be afraid of now? And who should be afraid of now? I'm like, then the motherfuckers got busy. And they start fighting. Then that was a good, like, everyone's like, oh, Wolverine kills everyone because he has healing factor. He still has nerves. He still has, like, he can still be like, Daredevil's taking him down. Elektra's taking him down. We've seen Black Panther.
Cyclops is taking him down like a couple of times.
Yeah, he can be taken down.
Arrow's taking him down.
It's just like it's hard. It's hard because motherfuckers got fucking metal. Like he was shooting the fair one with Scott. Yeah, Scott didn't die. Like my man was holding his own.
Yeah, you know what I really miss about Wolverine is how like every time like it's his birthday, Sabretooth just comes out of nowhere, just punches him in the face. I'm like, you know what? I get like now. I'm like, you know what? I miss that. Sabretooth needs to just beat his ass just keep him humble. Keep him humble because Wolverine talks a lot of shit. And he always, like in X-Force, he's always putting down Quentin Quire because he's super pro Krakoa. And Wolverine's like, oh, you need to humble yourself, kid. Why? It's kind of reminds you of that Kendrick Lamar lyric, like, why should I act fake humble because your ass is insecure? And like Quentin Quire's like Wolverine just needs to be talked about himself. Like, hey, Logan, you want to talk about somebody? How about the reason why your mom's dead? Aren't you the one who made her kill herself?
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
I thought, James, that origin.
Yeah, hey, but you gotta hurt him with like he'll tell you so. He'll try to tell you he's like, oh, I'm older. I know some grizzled old advice. Like, bro, you're an alcoholic who can't have a relationship because everyone dies. No one talks about that. This is why that's why you and Storm have been booty calls for the last 20 years, but no one wants to talk about that. Now I have a whole theory. They've been seeing each other, but not exclusive.
Yeah. Like apparently that was when that started like in the 80s.
Yeah, like
I didn't like when the whole them with I didn't like them together because like that's and it was so funny with the child was like anyone but him. And that shit was hilarious.
No, but I was like, all of Storm's boyfriends, Nightcrawler hit it, Wolverine hit it.
They never because it looked like she was going to get with Nightcrawler, but then the what's it called? It looked like the Redditors were leading up to that because they used to dance together. But then what's it called? The marriage happened, and then at the wedding, and Nightcrawler was like, "Oh, I thought we were kind of," and then Wolverine's like, "Yeah, I kind of thought we were." It was like, "Gosh, got it."
For who else? Yeah, it's weird with Storm. Like she let two versions of Wolverine hit it. I'm like, gross. You want young Wolverine and old Wolverine?
Hey, X-Men's here to fuck. I mean, that doesn't Make more mutants. That's what we're here to do. And Nightcrawler's doing like 80% of the work in there. So.
Right? Oh my man, he sweat her edges out. He sweat that woman's edges out.
That man is entirely different. Now you seen him with in Legion of X with what's her name? Zach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like,
love it. I'm like, I want this for Nightcrawler. I want that.
I want his daughter to come back.
Oh, Nocturne. She was in Nocturne. What was her name?
Yeah, I want her to come back. Just like, I know she's an alternate but like,
I'm good on alternate shit, man. Unless it's to bring Shard back.
Oh yeah, that too. Bring back Shard, bring back Nocturne, because with Nocturne, you can have a really hilariously awkward family dinner when bring back her entire, bring back her, bring in Magneto, bring in like all his family, and then bring in Mystique and Destiny, and bring in Azazel. And you know how many? Do you realize how funny that'd be? Destiny making all these little side comments, and then Azazel's like, "Yeah, she married you, but she had my baby." just imagine the shit talking. It'd be hilarious.
I do like how much Destiny hates Gambit.
Yeah, but I don't know. But
it's also like, what's your problem? You've been gone for like how many years, lady? Like,
I don't think they like men. I don't. No, like Destiny doesn't like men. Mystique, we know, hates men. Like
she got with him, or do you?
Sabretooth. She got with Sabretooth.
A kid. I mean, they had fucking what's his name?
Graydon Creed. Yeah. She gave Iceman a mutant STD that took away his powers. Oh no! This happened right before Messiah Complex. Like her and Iceman were like,
which is weird.
Yeah, that was weird. And he's like, "Oh, I have mutant inhibitors in other places." Like, oh, you ain't shit.
I think of who.
Forge.
Forge. I'll just get her wife back. Finally, I'm like, all right. And they have been running.
Yeah, but I want to see them. I want to see their arguments. I wonder if Destiny knows about, like, remember all those people that you got with when I was gone?
I don't think she cares.
Yeah, I know. But Destiny is that petty. She would just say something.
I feel like she's not a better version of it. It's gonna be like, all right, at least we know what she's like working toward, as much as shady as she is.
Well, what's her goal now? She just seems like she's desperate.
Well, she's like, well, there's remember that whole
Oh no, I mean, what's Mystique? What is Mystique?
I mean, just to hunt down more and just help Destiny, because they're trying to guide to a certain path. We're like, all right, everything isn't shit, and they outline it like, and there's these like the Destiny,
all those potentials,
all these different things. Like, and I was like, oh shit, all these ways that we could go, and like we're finally bringing back the Destiny Diaries, which is a cool thing.
I love those. Like,
I was like 80s, 90s and shit. Now I'm like, all right, let's get back into that. Like, let's get into like the real rap of it.
But Destiny, though, she's kind of like a GPS that's constantly readjusting.
Yeah.
Go straight, make a U-turn, do an axis. Now park in an odd angle across the street. Now, I was just going in and out. This is like some person's apartment building. What is
the power is not certain. That's why I was like, all right, certain things are coming, they come and go.
I understand that. It's just like, like, just with her, like, she'll just say something like, yeah, you should probably bring your wallet because we're gonna get robbed at some point.
Yeah.
What? Can we avoid that? No. You're gonna get robbed. I'm not gonna get robbed. You're gonna get robbed.
It's for your benefit.
It's like, how is it for my benefit? Listen, is what it is. Okay, I can't tell you because it is what it is. Oh man. If there's anything about the X-Men that you would change, what would it be?
More black ones, more Asian ones, more native ones, more indigenous ones, more Aboriginal ones. That's it.
Just more people of color.
I mean, I like that we got. I'm over the coded shit. Which I love Araco and shit like that. But let's have more. More of them in the four. Because like, why the fuck are the new team selected? I love that. Like, a good move, but a dick move when Cyclops is like, it's time, like, you know, he's underrated, he's been helping us and shit like that. It's time to get Forge back in the X-Men. Forge's like, what the fuck? And
he was like, I don't want to be here.
I mean, it's true. Like he's done his term like as a penance, and he's really helped Go and shit like that. And then Ford's like, all right, fine, I'll only go if Havoc goes. And it's like,
He's
oh,
like,
well,
what? Okay.
that, which is fine. I'm like, get Havoc the fuck out of here, dog. Like Havoc,
Give
like,
him his
I'm
own
sorry.
team.
I'm
like,
sorry. Get the fuck out of here, Havoc. Like,
they made him into a simp.
I don't know. It's not even that. It's just I'm not over the fucking. I don't. We were talking online. I was like, I don't know what the equivalent of a white coon is for this.
Oh yeah.
Like, that whole like, hey, don't call me mutant. I'm Alex. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That's what I love, Captain America. I love Steve Rogers. I'm like, this ain't it, Steve.
Like you.
This ain't it.
Like
you had that man up there damn near tap dancing, and I ain't forget.
Yeah, it wasn't just him too. He had Sunfire, he had Rogue, he had Wolverine, the original one. Wolverine has cool moments.
They were on like because that team that what's his name was Steve was in that old one with Deadpool on it. That was fine, but none of them made that fucking statement. That shit, I'm like, I squared that away on Alex Soley. Like, no. You ain't speaking about all of us. No, that was not it. And I think that had to be because like Cyclops is running wild. You're his brother, you know.
Yeah, like he would.
We're trying to mend relations. Okay,
he was peer pressured. Everybody was telling him like Scott's a bad person, and even Wolverine, he manipulated him. He's like, hey, after Schism, he's like, hey, listen, maybe you don't want to be with someplace where you have your older brother who you live in their shadow. Like, you're a dick, Logan. You're like,
I'm fine with like Wolverine. Like, I'm fine with this incarnation of him now, but like people fucking forget like in that during that Phoenix thing for the new Phoenix that before Echo got it, they're like, oh, Wolverine's like, oh no, I gotta take this back. We can't. This is our thing. Like, you can't. The Avengers came to our whatever to try and take this from us. Like, this is something that belongs to X-Men. No. You were on the Avengers side. Yep. What?
He's the original coon. Wolverine's the original coon.
I'm like, you were on their side. How
you gave them bad information.
I was like, and then they showed up to the door talking about, oh, we're gonna take Hope, and that's why I love Cyclops. I was like, so you show up here when we need help. You got Avengers are nowhere to be seen, but you come here and say you know better than us in the situation. Fuck what we've been doing. And you just want to take one of our no.
And then Roger said like, oh, our experts on the Phoenix says experts. Oh, you mean Wolverine? Oh my
no. You know, and that's like by all accounts his adoptive granddaughter in a sense, because he I mean she's really I really think she was supposed to be the reincarnation of Jean Grey, but then whatever.
Right.
And how different would it have been if Hope was black?
Ooh.
Also, you didn't really need Hope if you brought back fucking Sync. Sync was
like Hope is redundant right now.
Yeah.
Just get Sync, have him around some of the five.
No, that's the backup plan. They say that that's the whenever we need to like someone being exerted or some shit like the backup. They have Sync around to like take places. The trade.
Yeah, but he can do all of that. He can do the five. He could be the 5 in 1
at once.
But what my thing about Hope, she is like, she thinks her like my dad's the best soldier ever, and Psycho's like, who do you think?
Who you taught your dad?
Like
this guy. That shit was great.
And she always gets butthurt anytime somebody mentions that.
I love that shit because I've already been trained enough. Like, yeah, you're trained by Cable. Yeah, who do you think trained Cable? I just love the
like this guy.
I love his sense of humor.
I always wanted to see how like when I want to see her throw that around X-Force, around the students that Cable raised. Like let her say that to Cannonball. He's like, I'm his first student. I'm the best one. Like I made X-Men. You never made X-Men. What are you talking about? Like I'm an Avenger. Have you been an Avenger? No. Why don't you sit your ass at the kids' table with Armor? Sorry, Armor. That just use you as a my Armor. We love you. And Armor's just like, why am I used this way? Like, can they do this to Jubilee? They don't do this to Jubilee.
Like, she's still on the same outfit from '93. Jubilee, come on.
Hey, Jubilee is.
Oh yeah, is that Empire thing still going on with her? And
oh no, that's gone. It's been gone. Quentin Quire changed it. Like he just kind of like when he had the Phoenix for a minute, he switched it off. He's like, "You're a human again. Like you healed."
Did she get her powers back in the Crucible?
Yeah, she has her. No, she never lost her powers. She had her powers and she was the vampire, but
she got that out. I was like, again, when you were doing shit like that, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, this isn't, you know what I mean? There was one issue when Bendis was wild, and I think he was just writing bullshit before he exited, where he had fucking Cable show up and Miles Morales. I'm like, what is happening here?
Right.
Like, this makes no sense. Like, oh yeah, I'm recruiting you for this mission. I'm like, no.
Like, well, you can't be kidnapping kids, Cable. This is kidnapping now.
I'm like,
it's not cool.
No, this is wild. That was a horrible time.
People also forget that Jubilee kind of stole her kid. Shogo is not her son.
Another kid. Yeah.
But no way, everyone wants to talk about that. He's like, oh, I found him in a blast site, and I just took like that kid could have had a family, but you didn't want to look for him. Like he's not a dog. You can't just take a baby and just.
No one's around. I mean, all right, we got this open field, and
like, she wanted to be a mother, but she didn't want to go through the pregnancy.
That's a weird thing That's a weird thing they do with that, where it's like, oh, they like these, like how Benjamin Grimm now has these two alien
kids, no like he didn't have to go through he didn't have to find out, oh, I'm pregnant, or wondering if it's his or not.
There's it's just a weird thing. They're always like, oh, let's add in these other characters instead of like, which is whatever, because like you can fine tune. But it's always a weird thing when they have like, I mean, you see it in Thor: Love and Thunder too. I'm like,
how do you like? So y'all are just anti-pregnancy, like WandaVision. No, WandaVision really pisses me off because how's she gonna have two flesh and blood sons, but her husband's a robot? Like that remind me of what Cat Williams said about Michael Jackson. So you're gonna put yo nigga dick in a white bitch, and though you have two blonde hair, blue eyed babies, you aren't mixed. Make it make sense. It's like I'm just like Wanda is wild. Like
that's just wild. But she redeemed herself. She redeemed herself finally.
It kinda like she never really said she was sorry.
No, when she made the heaven.
She redeemed it, but she never really said that she was sorry that she did it.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, man. We'll take what we can fucking get.
But also, I blamed. Like, I know Wanda did House of M, and she took away all the mutants, but I blamed the Avengers because
they're gonna kill her.
Oh, that too. But check this out. Like, she was a mutant, and being an Avenger, they kind of isolated her from her community. Like, say like you take a black kid, raise him around white people, and then it's like, oh, they don't know that they're black. They just think, oh, we're like, yeah. And they just catered to all the dumb shit that she believes. And then when things got real, they brought in the black family, the mutants, and like she couldn't handle it. They made her the Candace Owens of the mutant community.
Oof.
I'm sorry, okay? Just like she never said she was sorry. She even said like, "I'm so sick." Like, why did new mutants need to be born? Like, wow. Who, like you committed a hate crime. And then you blame Magneto for your problems. Well, he didn't meet you until you were an adult. That's you.
Shit is wild.
Oh man. But man, this is fun. Like, they need more black writers. They, like, on the main X-Men title.
I do love what Victor Lavelle did with the Sabretooth.
Oh yeah, that was fine. That's fine. It's just like I would like to have seen, like, I don't know, like X-Force written by a black writer. I want to see the main X-Men title. Like, it doesn't even have to be a black man. Just have like a person of color. Like anything. just a different perspective because people like the I'm sorry, I still think the X-Men are a black metaphor. They're a
Yeah,
black
they are.
metaphor, but no one wants to give it that because talking about race, I'm like the X-Men always been black.
Yeah, yeah.
Name one Avengers leader who got shot at a peace rally when they were talking about peace. Xavier did.
Cyclops did.
Right, Cyclops did.
Man got him. Like, you killed my boy this way.
I like and that whole the comparison about Xavier being Malcolm X, Xavier being Martin Luther King and Malcolm, it might need to be Malcolm X. I'm like, and some people are like, I don't buy into that. I'm like, every time I hear that somebody say that, I'm like, do all lives matter to you? I just want to know that question because I reject that. Like, why can't that be the issue? Like, why can't they be the case?
I do reject.
It's just wild to me. But it's good talking to other X-Men fans about this. It's nice. Nice. Oh man. What was your favorite X-Men movie? You're like, really? You had to choose one of these?
Not by much, but oh god. First Class wasn't bad. That could have been a movie without the I hate
the Darwin scene where like
I think I'm gonna say X-Men 2 because of Nightcrawler. I'm gonna say X-Men 2.
Yeah. Oh, also that the invasion scene where the didn't that just seem like it was a raid, like the police just ran up in somebody's house?
That was in the second one, I believe. Yeah.
Didn't that just seem like it was like the cops running into a black home? Like,
what the fuck this thing is? Oh, this okay.
It's like,
and they kept playing. They kept fucking playing Cyclops, and they're like, oh, there's a Cyclops car. Oh, he's playing listening to Backstreet Boys. I was like, why are we? This nigga, he got y'all niggas through the fucking wire on his back, and this is how we do him. Okay, all right.
But every time they had a scene with him and Wolverine tried to hoe him, and Cyclops just got him. Like in the first one, he said, like Wolverine's like, "Oh, you're gonna tell me to stay away from my girl?" Like, well, if I had to say that, she wouldn't be my girl. And and then at the end of it, he's like, "Hey,
oh, by the way,
stay away from my girl." And he made him look like a bitch. And then in the second one, Wolverine's like, "Your bike's out of gas." He's like, "Then fill it up." I love it. Everything.
Wait, how do I know you're you? You're a dick. All right, just walks. I just feel what? Like that is to form Cyclops. Like, I mean, all right, yeah, like it is my, yeah, all right.
That is something you would say.
Yeah,
I hate you. I just want that snarky humor from Scott. Like, just say like, like, isn't there like a bar you should be at or something? Like just. Like, isn't there like some Japanese, isn't there some Japanese gang you should be fighting or something? Like, there's a reason why all your old friends hate you. Just say it. Like, there's a reason. Sabretooth, Deadpool, Maverick, Silver Fox, all your old friends hate you. They want you dead. Omega Red, he has a really good reason now. Oh yeah, Omega Red. He has the best reason to hate Wolverine. Wolverine's such a sanctimonious dick. Like he thinks he's not better than the X-Men, but he thinks he's like, oh, I know I'm better than Omega Red.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is wrong with you? But Omar, thank you for showing up, man. This has been fun, man. This is fun.
Thanks for having me, man.
Man, I can't wait for Judgment Day. It's gonna be 4 months of this. 4 months of this. So like,
I'm really happy for it. I'm just hoping it keeps the steam. I'm like, it's a lot to say right there. I'm like, this might be. I mean, we're just one issue in, but like, the timing of this shit. I'm like, these have been good too. I'm like, this might be on par with Civil War. I'm like, it's a big bold statement to say. So I'm really, I'm nervous, but I'm really like excited to see where it goes.
And also, it's really nice to how the Avengers they still haven't done anything.
Yeah.
Like all they did was interrogate Cersei. They don't like the Eternals for some reason. Like it's like, okay, that's
That's
okay.
weird, right? That's different.
That like, oh, you guys are on. It's like, yeah, we're gonna do something, but we're not sure yet.
What? Yeah, useless. All of you, useless.
Like, okay, how come the Avengers aren't going up and dealing with Orcus?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to know.
Exactly. Do you even know? Like, yeah,
all right, and plus, like that whole space station, that was Reed Richards's one of his bases, and like, either him or Tony Stark's, and they haven't wondered like, whatever happened to that thing?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Stark was actually working for Orcus. Now, I'm not saying that he's working with it, but he's looking at the plans.
He did. I mean, that was in the Inversion shoot where he made fucking the Sentinels, and this is the Iron Man Sentinel. I'm like, this is the wildest shit I've ever seen. Also, when Reed Richards, when he found out how to get rid of the X gene, and he did it to his son, and then Magneto and because they got
Xavier, you're like, hey, no, they were right because they were wilding.
Well, and remember that Hellfire Gala when Iron Man made a joke like, "Oh, what did you forget?" And he's like, "I possibly yes." And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "They came in, they took my memory, they wanted me to know," but he didn't say what he did.
Right.
He didn't say what he did.
He's playing the victim. He's playing the victim again.
And then he tells Emma Frost. I'm like, we wouldn't do that. And he's like, "Well, are you sure?" And then she's like, I think then she finally listens to Scott when she was upset at him. Like, this is how he chooses to fuck me when he
right.
Thing. But he's like, we got lie. So I had to tell the truth. And he apologizes to her and he's like, yo, I'm sorry that I'm not there, but like, yo, like just look at what I've been through, please. And then she's like, oh shit. He's like, yeah. And he's like, all right, you show me yours, I'll show you mine. He's like, what the? Did these motherfuckers bring back the Brotherhood of Evil reasons while I was gone? What happened?
No, but the whole thing with Emma though, her whole thing with Inferno, this is just a friend of mine brought this up. Emma was mad because she wasn't in on it from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And that's like,
with the
how are you mad when every other time you've been part of some kind of secret society, some secret club, but and you do it to everybody else, but the moment it's done to you, you get butthurt.
But then also like we're all I'm abiding by this whole fresh start and transparency that we're all abiding by. And and I felt like I've done that in the past, yeah. But if I'm playing by the rules now, and then it gets done to me, and it also just a bunch of men telling you, you know what I mean? A bunch of men telling you what's right, what's wrong.
It's really a woman telling them. It was a woman telling you. It's like it's your own gender.
Moore's been like all this time, y'all playing it, and we always lose. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Why didn't you tell me that shit from the jump? Like, all right, you know, and just, fuck this. I'm not with y'all. Y'all just doing the same bullshit. You know what I mean? I think Emma had to be like
they're making her into a saint. They're making it seem like she's a saint.
They know because she apologized to Firestar for what she did. Why the fuck is Firestar on that goddamn team? Gross.
No, she wants to be on the team, but like Tony's the moment she's on the team, Tony Stark's like, hey, listen.
You can. I'm like, yo, and they're like, oh, they're all calling me a cop. They call me a sellout because I didn't want to leave my dad. Shut up! I don't care, dog. You're just using the gates and shit just to pass. Man.
Like gates, like
get a new outfit. I know she's got a new outfit, but like get a new outfit, then maybe I'll listen. You know, But yeah, I think Emma had to be shady because she's a woman moving in this like man's world, right? Xavier and Magneto, they chose that shit, man. They chose to move mad shady.
No, but Moira was telling her what to do.
I know she was.
And Xavier, remember Xavier and Magneto said like we gotta tell everybody the truth at some point. All right.
At some point, man. Come. And now you look like assholes because we're not doing it. And also there's extenuous shade shit like the whole governing people and shit that Xavier was doing. Like he's no longer the. But I guess that was the thing. More was like you can't be this dreamer guy anymore, man. Like which is what she's like.
You have to wake up. You're like you can't just like.
It ain't gonna work. So we're gonna do shit different this time. He's like,
I understand where Xavier was coming from with Krakoa. He's like, it's like you're in a seat and somebody's punching you in the face like 9 times. Then Xavier is like, okay, all right, you're not gonna be punching me in the face anymore. We're not doing that. we're not like, I understand where he's coming from, but it's just like, bro, you should know Moira was up to something. Moira always is up to
I don't
something.
even know way of telling. But it's really just beef with Destiny. It's not even really like because she burned you the one time, but like, dog, you were gonna erase the whole fucking race.
But
Like,
Emma, no, Moira plays the victim. She always plays the victim. And now looking at our old stuff, like this is something I think Hickman should have really put a lot of his time into. Make a X-Men series on a limited series on Moira, make it 4 or 5, where we see the creation of the X-Men from Moira's perspective. Like what was like when she had the legacy virus. Why did she have a golem? How did she really feel about Wolfsbane? Like that was her adopted daughter. What was she doing after she presumed to have died? Was she maneuvering stuff? Like, I would have loved to have seen like her get her fair share of the blame for Deadly Genesis.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a bunch of questions I have.
So
a bunch of questions. Like, and it all come continuity. Get Al Ewing on the case. He knows what he's doing. Like, but thank you so much for showing up. I know it's a Monday. We had like, hey, we made it happen though. We made it happen.
Yeah.
But this Omar from
I'm Omar from Black Nerd Problems.
Omar from Black Nerd Problems. I'm 1407. Connecting the dots. We'll see you soon.